So welcome to Yin Yang Yoga tonight, or today, or wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. And tonight's class, we're going to do a little bit of Yin and Release. So if you have, this is a little yoga tune-up ball. It has a certain density that has give in it, so it's flexible. It's not like a cricket ball or a baseball, more like a spongy tennis ball or something that has a little bit of give. So if you have a ball handy tonight, we're going to use that to combine self-myofascial release with our yin poses. So we'll see where that takes us. And there's different sensitivities that we can work with here. We're going to start by taking the ball and rolling the ball onto the bottom of the foot, all through the arch area, the inner ankle area, under the toe pads, and then on top of the foot, onto the bones at the top of the foot. So we're just pushing down, rolling it out, adding some fascial release here to begin our class on this left foot. Work it around to the back of the ankle where the Achilles and the ankle come together. And then put the ball on the ground and simply roll it out on the bottom of the foot. So you add a little more pressure from the weight of the leg. If you'd like to, you could even stand here and add the vertical weight of the torso on top. And if you find a sensitive spot, just pause and hang out there for a bit. So we're going to come into three key places on the leg. We're going to hit the foot and the ankle joint, base of the foot, the knee joint, and the glute area. So let's take the ball up now onto the inner knee. So find that area on the inside of the knee joint where the adductors meet the knee joint, and come up and below the knee. So you've got also where the calf muscle connects with the knee. So hit that knee in all directions on that left side. Or that inside, I should say. And then bring the other hand to the other side of the knee and find a lot more pressure by pressing both hands in and finding any sensitive spots that go into a deeper massage on the inside of that knee. If you find a sensitive spot, remember you're looking for delicious discomfort, not pain, and then hold it and squeeze, making little micro movements in that area. So if there's any muscle adhesion up here, this is really going to help. But you want to feel something. And where these big leg muscles join the knee, there can be a lot going on. Let's extend that leg and then start to apply a little bit of pressure to the top of the leg, the quadricep where it meets. And once again, roll around, look for a sensitive spot. And when you found it, press down, push through the ball into that sensitive spot and create a little micro rolling there. So really getting into some deep muscle work around the knee joint here. And let yourself roll towards the outside of the leg. And once again, all this area, I'm feeling a lot of sensation in this area where the thigh meets the knee from all directions. If you want to roll up the leg a little bit towards the hip, you can, but let's focus mainly on the knee for now. And then bring the ball underneath on the hamstring side. Push the ball into the back of the knee joint and slowly close the leg on the ball and then hug it towards you. So the ball is locked behind the knee joint, and find that appropriate sensation, not too much, not too little. And then we're going to come into the glute area on the same leg. So you want to come down onto your mat. Lift the hips into a bridge pose and take your ball underneath that glute area and roll around until you find a sensitive spot. When you've located a sensitive spot in the glute area, you can start to isolate by moving the leg or just holding the weight of the leg down onto the ball. So bending and straightening the leg, lifting the leg up or sideways, just allowing yourself to find and maybe roll from side to side, just working that sensitive area. So we could be calling this class Yin and Release tonight. So we're using the fascial release from the ball. Now we're going to come through the other leg. Remove the ball. For a moment, come into TP pose, knees together, feet apart. Noticing if there is any sense of contrast between the left and right leg. All right, release TP pose. Let's go to the other side. We can start with the foot, ankle, rolling out, ball of the foot, toe pads, and always stopping over a sensitive area and just finding out what's going on there. You might sustain the pressure, you might make micro movements. Don't forget the bones at the top of the foot. They like to be massaged as well. So these little areas where the muscles attach to the joints through the ligaments and tendons, there can be a lot of complexity in this area. A lot going on. Don't forget, try standing the weight of the foot pressing down onto the ball as well, as a way to go a little deeper into the fascia at the bottom of the foot. So this kind of work can be helpful for preventing plantar fasciitis. And then come on up around the knee joint. So particularly those muscles that connect to the knee joint from above. So the thighs hook into the knee joint. And there's going to be some pretty sensitive connections there. You think about the knee joint working all day, bending, straightening, bending, straightening. That whole area could easily get inflamed, injured. So giving it a big treat. And once again, you can work further up towards the hip from the knee joint, but as much as you can, stay focused around that sensitive area of the knee joint. Moving towards the quad, the top of the leg, the thigh that is always forward. And as you go through the quad, you're definitely going to feel, especially the edges of the quad, medial and lateral side of the leg are going to be particularly sensitive. And then into that IT band area side, the abductor side. There might be a lot going on there too. And notice if the leg is extended, you're going to have different sensations than if the leg is flexed. So the leg extended is going to bring more sensation. And that's why when we come to the back of the knee and lock the ball in, we flex. So the quadricep is engaged, the hamstring is engaged. And then let's hit the glute, coming into bridge, coming down, bearing the weight of the glute and buttocks onto the ball, and then whatever movements allow you to get into that area of the body. So really preparing the legs here, the joints, the knees, the ankles, and the glute, low back hip area, which is I'm going to appreciate this release before we start. And then when you're ready, release the ball. Have some blocks handy. And bring the knees together, feet apart, into TP pose. Work on having the bottoms of the feet in contact with the floor. Resist the temptation to lift up the outer edge of the foot. And that may, for some of us, require a block between the knees. Focus on the low back here as you exhale. Gently draw the navel back towards the spine. Soft abdominal engagement. Feel the low back lengthen and release. And let the inhale be gentle. So there's not a sudden arching of the spine, but there's a gentle inhaling, allowing the spine to gently come away from the mat. So the exhale, imprint, lengthen, stretch, low back. And then a soft inhale, slow release, feeling the back trying to arch, coming up a little bit from the mat. So you might find it's just a difference in pressure for the low back. Pressing into the mat, exhale, and releasing the pressure, inhale, or maybe arching. A little cat and cow kind of feeling in the base of the spine. And just notice the different joints of the legs, how they feel after that massage. And then let's open the knees, bring the soles of the feet together and prop the hips open. So you're using the blocks this time to take a little bit of weight off the hips. Not to prevent the hips from opening, but to let them open gradually. So you have your hands accessing the blocks and able to move the blocks out gradually, letting the hips open more, avoiding the temptation to open too quickly where the hips recoil. When you found the exact amount of support for optimal hip opening, let yourself become still and patient. Let your breath slow down and repeat the mantra, I let my hips go. Let go of the hips. So there's a softening on the inner thighs. And you can use your hands at any time to micro move the blocks towards the knees, allowing the hips to open even more. Slow breath. Mantra, I relax the hips even more. And then micro move the blocks if the hips have opened. So as far as the hips are concerned, even though they're opening gradually, because the blocks are there to always support them, they never feel under pressure. It becomes a natural opening. Exhale, gently turn the head to the left. Just feel the sensations in the neck. Inhale the head to neutral. Exhale the head to the right. Inhale, neutral. Notice if the weight of the legs shifted. If so, you can micro move the blocks out for another 5 breaths. Clasp the hands under the back of the head, interlocking the fingers. Elbows out wide, knees out wide. Feeling this butterfly pose. Start to lift the tailbone, and as you do, push the knees into